My name's Ross. I'm with the Oklahoma Public Employees Health and Welfare Plan. That's a bit of a mouthful, as a lot of you probably are going to hear this exactly as I said it to you last year. So I'm just going to refer to this as the health plan going forward. So a little bit about us so you can understand exactly who we are. Just like OMAG and OMRF, we're a not-for-profit organization. We're owned by those groups that participate in it. So there's no one making any money off of it. We've been around since 1992, so over 30 years now. Every one of our groups is treated equally. Every one of them has a voice. Every one of them pays the same rates and has access to the same benefits. So we don't treat any group differently than anyone else. Our executive board is made up of elected county officials and one at-large member representing all the non-county entities on the plan. That person currently is Matt, so if any of your groups have any questions, they need to be funneled through him, right? That's a lie. What instead you should do is call our office. On the materials that you have in front of you, there is January's name, right? So every one of our groups has a point contact in our office. Yours is January. If you call that number, she's going to be able to help you understand exactly what you do or don't have. I also like to tell people at this point, don't remember anything I say during this presentation other than, if in doubt, call January, okay? There's a lot I'm going to go through and cover. I don't expect you to remember all of it at all. So when we're talking about health benefits, we always talk about the cost. And I think it's important to disclose that. So here's a 16-year rate history. Every one of those years, single-digit rate increases. Every one of them significantly less than the national average. 3 years where we had no rate increase at all. So this is very unusual when it comes to health benefits. Now, that only gives you half the picture. We could have small rate increases or large rate increases. It's what we do with the benefits that really makes a difference. And that's where I think this plan stands out from any other in the state. In fact, I'm quite comfortable in saying I think this is the strongest health benefit plan that you can find anywhere, either as a private individual going to the health exchange or the Obama website, as people sometimes refer to it, or even if you work for a private enterprise, you will not find a benefit-rich plan like this that can be affordable. So what we've done is we've pivoted this, and now we look at this differently. We don't look at what your deductible, co-insurance, and co-pays are, although that's how you discuss health benefits with your family. What we do is we look at how we can make healthy cheaper. And so here are 30 benefits, and we're going to go through these, that occur before your normal basic health benefits start. And this is what really sets us out from everyone else. So let's begin with health advocates. They're not even on this list, but this is a higher level of concierge level type customer service that we pay for through Blue Cross and Blue Shield. This is 24/7 availability where you can get access to a doctor, a registered nurse, a behavioral health specialist, which is another way of saying a mental health specialist. People that can really truly make a difference on that call immediately. Now, where this differs from regular customer service is these people are proactive as well. So they will look at the claims, they will look at what might be going on with you, and they will reach out to you instead of waiting for you to call them. And you can then start to build a relationship. They can help you actually make appointments. They can walk you through what you might expect during a surgery or procedure. Maybe you need some equipment to help your recovery afterwards. Maybe one of those perpetual motion machines after a shoulder surgery. And they can help you get that stuff all lined out beforehand. So please make use of this. On the back of your ID card, it says Health Advocate. That's the number you need to call. For everything else, you call January. Okay? So let's start with the first benefit then. On our plan, we have free major medical care available. So that's free transplants, over 750 different free cardiac or heart procedures, over 350 different spinal surgeries, and 150 different hip and knee replacements. Not just replacements, I should say, other surgeries for those joints. Also, maternity care is available for free, whether it be a regular pregnancy, complex, or multi-birth. All you need to do to get these things for free is use a Blue Distinction Center. So what's a Blue Distinction Center? Well, the easiest way to explain that is, if your regular doctor in hospital is a Honda Civic, these are your Ferraris and Lamborghinis. These are the best surgeons and the best hospitals for what they do. The criteria to be considered a Blue Distinction Center is significant. Give you an idea, on a transplant, you have to demonstrate a 25% lower mortality rate after 12 months. So every one of us in here shares two things in common, right? We all have one life and one body. Surely you want to go to the place that you're going to get the best possible outcome. So a 1 in 4 chance of still being alive in a year after a transplant, that seems like a good thing to me. I think the problem that we're trying to deal with this benefit here is none of us know what the true cost of healthcare is, right? When you go into the hospital or a doctor, it's a gamble, right? You don't know what the cost is going to be. They don't disclose that to you. You also, there's an old adage, isn't there, that says, what do you call the person who finishes last in medical school?
A doctor.
All right. So if the worst person in the class is called doctor and the best person is called doctor, how the hell can you discern the difference? Well, you can't, right? There's no way using the US healthcare sector of being able to make those determinations. But we can see that through the clinical outcomes data that we have access to, which is why we can help drive you to these places. That's not physically drive you, right? That's something else entirely, right? But here, what we're talking about is hospitals where they may specialize in one particular area. So a facility that's great at heart transplants, not necessarily going to be a Blue Distinction Center for maternity care. Every one of these, there's going to be a hospital in the Oklahoma City metro area for. So you're not going to have to go halfway across the country to get care. But here, not only is it going to save you thousands of dollars because it's free, but it could end up saving your life too. Not enough of our members are utilizing this benefit right now. And that's a shame, right? You get access to better care at no cost to you. It's a no-brainer. No other plan in the state is offering this one benefit alone. And we're about to make it better by adding cancer care. So this will be free radiotherapy, free chemotherapy, and free surgical removal of tumors from the best cancer hospitals in the state. You're not going to find that one benefit anywhere else. So let's continue to turn this on its head and say this. Every other health plan out there, you talk about how much is it going to cost me to do these things? Well, we take it a little differently, and we're going to say, how much are we going to pay you to use your benefits? So we now pay rewards on over 1,600 different benefits. Between $25 and $500 cash reward in a check sent to your home, not a reduction in your deductible, on things like x-rays, blood work, MRIs, CAT scans, mammograms, colonoscopies. Colonoscopy, that's a benefit we cover at 100%. That's up to a $250 reward just by calling that health advocate number on the back of your ID card before you get the surgery or procedure done. That's it. One call, toll-free, you're done. Then you can potentially get that reward. Now, they may suggest you don't go where you're going already. They may suggest, hey, go down the street and you're going to get a $250 reward. You can take that advice or leave it. It's entirely up to you. But again, you need to understand how the healthcare system works in the US, right? Your doctor says you need an MRI. He's going to send you to the place where he's got some business relationship with already. He's receiving some financial incentive. I'm being recorded, so I'm being very careful with the words I use this time than I don't normally, right? So if there's an incentive where it's no longer do no harm, it's do no harm to the bottom line. I think the Hippocratic Oath is completely out the window when it comes to healthcare in the US now. Then surely you need to be better informed if you're paying a percentage of some of this stuff, where you can go get an MRI, for example, for your knee down the street and it only costs $250, where it's $2,500 for the same thing where he's suggesting you go. So it's about quality and it's about cost. So again, it's about helping you learn where those things are and make better informed decisions. I heard you say you were about to sell your house, right? Which implies you're about to buy one, right? So when you buy a house, no, all right? But when you go buy a house, right, you don't just buy it, you tour it first, you know what your mortgage payment's gonna be. When you buy a car, you test drive it, you know what options you want and what your payment's gonna be. So why do we impact our lives through healthcare with a completely different idea on how things work? So it's about taking more and better informed decisions about your personal health. All right, next, virtual care. So during the pandemic, I'm sure many of you accessed your primary care physician through a virtual doctor's office visit, and maybe you paid a copay for that. But over the last 5-6 years, we've had a similar service in place. Only difference here, it's been free with us throughout that period of time. So MD Live is our preferred vendor here. So this is for pediatric, primary, and some types of urgent care. I mean, look, if you've got an arrow sticking out of your eye, go to the ER, right? But there are some types of urgent care you can go to a virtual office visit for. This is particularly useful if you've got young kids, right? You know, if you've ever had to go sit in a pediatrics office with a screaming kid, waiting for an opening, exposing yourself to more germs, taking time off work, here's a solution where you can get a digital prescription called in and still stay in your pajamas and get the help and support you need. Not only is there primary pediatric and urgent care, but we also have psychiatric and counseling services through MD Live. Now, this is one of my soapbox topics. I think the United States is great for a number of reasons, but its attitudes towards mental health care are still in the dark ages. There is still a large stigma and embarrassment factor when it comes to asking for help. And I'm here to tell you, every one of us is going to have some sort of mental health crisis during our life. Now, I'm not saying you're going to go postal and go shoot McDonald's up or something, right? But none of us are born with an instruction manual on how to deal with the most difficult things in life, right? Only experience and being able to communicate with other people is going to help you deal with those types of things. There's no point in struggling through life, right? So if the biggest barriers to accessing mental health are the stigma and embarrassment, here's a solution that you can do it virtually. You don't have to physically sit across from somebody. So maybe you're more open in sharing what's going on. And you can get the help and support that you need. I mean, help and support on a number of things too. It doesn't have to be what I call chronic mental health issues. It can be situational things. So maybe you've got a teenager at home who's difficult to deal with. I've got one of those, right? Maybe you've got problems with Matt and you can't stand him and you need to complain, right? So there's things you can get, help and support you can get. And to make it easy, we'll make it free. And this is also a good time to say, when I say free throughout this presentation, that's exactly what I mean. Not like fill out this form in triplicate and sign away your firstborn or whatever. I mean, literally for free, okay? The reason we can do that, we're not for profit. So we've not got agents and brokers that we're paying in order to generate our business. Next, let's talk about medical equipment and supplies. These are available for free through our program, through Connect DME. This is a Tulsa-based company. Not just the cheapest brands here. We're talking all types of brands of medical equipment. So be it CPAPs, BiPAP machines, maybe it's an insulin pump you need, or one of those subcutaneous glucose monitors where, you know, you can see it here on the screen. This, This little dot thing here attaches to your arm subcutaneously, so under the skin, so it's constantly getting a measure of what your blood glucose level is. So that's for the more chronic diabetics. All of those pieces of equipment are completely free. Same next business day delivery, same free setup and training if you need it. And the supply. So if you've got a CPAP or BiPAP machine, maybe you need hoses, masks, or filters. Those too are free and are sent to your home address. Now, feel free to go to your local equipment pharmacy too and get it. You can still get coverage for that under the plan, but you're going to pay deductible and co-insurance for that. Or you can use this service and it's completely free. This benefit will save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a year if you need that type of equipment. Next, we have OMAG. This is our solution for what I call the metabolic syndrome conditions. So metabolic syndrome conditions are weight, blood pressure, blood glucose, and hyperlipidemia, which is high cholesterol. So this program provides a solution for all of those 4 factors, which if any one of those gets out of whack in your system, that can lead to serious other health conditions. So it couples education in a multifaceted way. So maybe you're one of these people that likes to do your own research. Certainly you can utilize this program that way. Maybe you're the type of person who likes to work one-on-one with a professional, or maybe you prefer working in a peer group of like people. So impact this program with your interactions that way, but also using the connected technologies that it comes with. Now, this uses cellular instead of Bluetooth, and when it comes to you, it's already set up to your account. So you open the box, you turn it on, it's ready to go. Now, the cellular technology is particularly useful. So what happens is, every time you use one of these connected devices, those measurements are sent back to OMAG, and then that data can be shared with your doctor. Now, when you go to your doctor, they get a snapshot, right? That second of what's going on with you, right? They see what your blood pressure is or blood glucose levels are, but that only gives them that tiny sliver of what's going on. They need hundreds of data points to fully understand and make better informed decisions. If you're a diabetic, for example, blood glucose, any number of things can impact that, right? The weather changing, the weather pressure like today, that can have an impact. How much stress you're under, sleep, not just what you've eaten, okay? So all of this stuff can be stored, measured, and a good, accurate response can be shared with your doctor. So here you can see the connected scales. This obviously takes your weight. If you're a diabetic, this program now includes that subcutaneous glucose monitor that I just talked about earlier, or the regular finger prick type of device, all of which instantaneously shares that data, which you can access on the app as well. If you're hypertensive, so you've got high blood pressure, there's a blood pressure cuff that you see here. A little larger than an iPhone, but not very heavy. So it's portable, you can carry it around with you too. So I highly recommend this program to provide sort of well-rounded impact on improving your overall health. All of those conditions, the weight, blood pressure, blood glucose, and high cholesterol, they're all interreactive. Next, we have my personal favorite, Hinge Health. So this is our solution for those of you with musculoskeletal pain. So for this program can be used for back, hip, neck, shoulder, ankle, wrist, you name it. They will send you a free tablet computer with Bluetooth sensors on it. These can be worn on the extremities or around the body, depending on where the injury is. And the app will suggest stretches and exercises to do. And it will track the position of your limb or body and say, in this case, this guy probably has some sort of shoulder injury. You can just make out the blue resistive band. And he's being told to stand there and lift his arm up and hold it in that green cone and for a certain count, and then repeat that exercise. And then over time, those exercises and stretches will change. the range of motion will increase. So successful is this program that 74% of the people entering that program expecting to need a surgery to correct their problem no longer require it. And 78% of the people beginning that, taking an opioid or some other high-dose pain relief, no longer require that high-dose pain relief. And I can raise my hand up here and provide a testimonial as to how successful that is. So I played a lot of rugby growing up. If you don't know what rugby is, it's like American football, but without padding, and also without the need to stop every 20 seconds to have a chat to decide what you're going to do next, right? Also, can someone explain to me why it's called football when the only person who can kick it has to come on specially to do that? That makes no sense at all. But anyway. So from playing that game, my right hip turns up and in, causes my right leg to be a touch shorter than my left. My doctor was telling me before I was 40, I'd need a full hip replacement. And I was in chronic pain every day from that. 10 weeks after using this program, no pain. I'm now 5 years down the line. I no longer require a surgery at all. So it made a huge difference to my life, okay? So it can make a huge difference to yours. And I'm excited to announce that this program is about to get even better. In the next 60 days or so, we're going to launch an industry-leading pelvic floor program for this, because 1 in 4 women have chronic pelvic floor pain, mainly as a result of childbirth, but sometimes other complications. And up until now, there has not been a sensible solution that really makes a difference. The studies coming out on this program will revolutionize those of you that are going through that type of issue. So look for a targeted mailing within the next couple of months announcing the start of that program. I'm very excited about that. I think it can have a big impact, change a lot of people's quality of life. Also last year, we added the Enzo pain relief device through Hinge. Now, Enzo was a device developed by the VA for those guys coming out of Afghanistan and Iraq. If you've ever seen a TENS unit, this is nothing like that, right? Totally different, uses complex wave technologies. It's completely wireless. You see it being worn on the back here, but you can wear it anywhere, okay? Rechargeable device, very lightweight. This means you can wear it while you're driving, while you're working, any type of thing like that. 1 hour's use a day of this device provides 24 hours of pain relief. It's that phenomenal. And unlike a TENS device, over time, it doesn't diminish in its ability, it stays constant. And it has the added additional benefit of releasing endorphins. So you get a nice natural high from it. So it's controlled through an app on your phone that you can adjust the settings on it. Honestly, I've got one. They sent me to test the unit. Phenomenal. Really, really works well. Yes.
So on that, Ross, you called the back of the card, call an advocate. Like my husband has chronic back pain.
Mm-hmm.
So he could call an advocate and talk with them and come up with a game plan.
Right.
That would help him.
Yeah. So, or you can call January and she can walk you through the process.
Okay.
In order to qualify for Hinge, there's just 8 questions. Most of them are really to do with exactly where your pain is, right? Because they'll start you on that track first where your pain is highest, right? So you may have knee pain, but you also have neck pain. So you really want to be working on the highest pain point first. Plus there's a lot of referred pain issues. So your neck may be hurting, but really the problem's in your hip. Right, so they'll make that determination. And there's different sensors and other accoutrements that may be necessary depending on where the injury is. But yeah, it's a very quick and easy registration process. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any questions on the Hinge? No. Next, we have a brand new program. We just launched this in January. This is Propeller. This is for people with COPD or asthma. Again, lots of education behind this. Again, connected technology is used. You can just make out this sensor up here, clips on the end of your inhaling device. It senses how often you use it and how much medication is being used as well. It tracks all of that, can share that data with your doctor. It produces fantastic reports that you can see here. This could really make a difference to your pulmonologist, making a better informed decision on dosage levels and everything else, but also provides breathing techniques that can help you reduce the amount of times you use in that medication. So we're excited about that. Again, completely free program. Also free, just launching, in a week, is Quit Genius. This is our new industry-leading service for people with alcohol, tobacco, vaping, and opioid addiction. Now, this is not meant as a replacement for NA, AA, and other sort of in-facility type of programs, but the success data out of this shows far more successful than any of those programs combined. So much so that this company is willing to bet their fee on how good it is. Now, that's the type of company I want to work with, a product that they will guarantee by putting their money on the line. So here, lots of cutting-edge cognitive behavioral therapy, which is $300 words of saying self-paced mental health care, as well as connected devices and replacement medication therapies. So here you see the tobacco and vaping setup. There's this little device here that you blow into. It measures how much nicotine is in your breath. What I like about this program is you can add sort of friends or family that will get to the results of these devices so they can help you be held accountable for what you're going through too. So in this case, we've got the nicotine gum as the replacement medication therapy. When it comes to alcohol, there's the breathalyzer device, and then naltrexone is the generic medication. This apparently makes alcohol taste like cigarette ash. So you have to be a real committed alcoholic to continue to drink after taking that. And then if you're an opioid addict, they have these at-home urine analysis tests that you can do, along with naloxone, which is the generic medication to help deal with that opioid addiction. Now, this is a serious issue. The statistic up there is quite staggering. 70% of all overdose deaths in the US in 2018 were the direct result of opioids. All right, well, on target, this really is about 60 different benefits all sort of rolled into one. So here you can get an online health risk assessment done. You can access a nurse through a 24/7 support line. You can get discounts to gyms and other fitness centers. Lots of other wellness tracking and disease management programs through there. It works a bit like a rewards program. So every time you use it, you accrue points, and you can cash those in for iPads and flat screen TVs, that type of thing. Don't use this if you're a hypochondriac though, because there's a symptom checker on there. By the time you're done with it, they'll tell you got the plague or something, right? So, not very good. One Day Health. All right, so this used to be called Naturally Slim, but then these geniuses got in a room and decided to rename it after a bread company. So when it comes to weight loss, it really makes no sense, right? So what this program says, look, it's not what you eat, it's when and how you eat it. There's no calorie counting. There's no foods you got to buy from them. There's no special diet where you got to eat cabbage for 6 days in a row and then salmon on the 7th day if it's a full moon or whatever. Right? This will tell you, look, if you like steak and chocolate cake, I mean, who doesn't, right? Then eat the steak and the chocolate cake. But it will tell you, look, your stomach is the size of a loosely clenched fist. So if the amount of food you're eating in a meal is larger than this, you're overeating. It will also tell you that it takes 20 minutes for the message to get from your stomach to your brain that you're full. So if you've consumed your meal, refilled your plate, and I am cognizant that lunch is just an hour away, then you're also likely to overeat. Instead, what you need to do is slow the hell down, put your fork down, chew your food, talk to your spouse or significant other, unless that impacts your mental health, and then don't do that, right? But those types of common sense things are what this program is about.
Now, does that program have an entry queue like it used to?
No, when we first started it, there was like, it would restart every sort of 3 or 4 months. Now it's, if you want to get on it, you just start it whenever you're ready to start it. And like all of this stuff that's free, it's all done in your own time, right? When you can fit it in, not when you can physically get to a location based on someone else's schedule, right? Next, we have sleep studies. So, I don't know if you've ever had a sleep study before, but, if you can't sleep at home, it makes absolutely no sense to send you to a sterile hospital environment, wire you up and stare at you for 12 hours, right? And you're not going to sleep then, are you, right? So here's the solution. Free device that you wear for one night. You see it around this guy's chest. I nearly said neck. You are going to sleep really well if you put it around your neck. But so you wear it around the hair for one night. You put it back in the prepaid box and you ship it back. It gets professionally read. And if you're diagnosed as being sleep apneic, then same company, Connect DME, as we get our medical equipment from, they'll send you a CPAP or BiPAP machine to help you there. Now, if you're one of the 1% of people that still needs an in-facility sleep study after doing this in-home, then we will also pay for that for free. If you go in-facility straight up, those are expensive. You're talking about $1,700 to $2,000 out of pocket with your deductible and co-insurance. It's significant. All right, these next 3 benefits, they're all to do with mental health. As you can probably tell, I'm a big proponent of that. They all significantly treat the same things, so depression, anxiety, sleep disorders, those type of things, but they all do it in slightly different ways. But they all do it through cognitive behavioral therapy. So if one of these doesn't work for you, please try one of the other ones. Lots of details about this on our website, so I'm not going to go into detail right now. So InMind, Silver Cloud, and Learn to Live are our 3 solutions there. OVIA Health is our solution for women's and family planning. So this is pregnancy, fertility, and parenting support. Over 50 different self-paced educational pieces here, but also lots of discounts and coupons for products, lots of coaching available as well. When it comes to the products, you see those Keurig machines, right? You get coffee made from. They make one now for baby formula. For want of a better word, brews it, right? And because of, modern generation laziness factors, it's also Bluetooth connected. So you can just press a button and not get off the couch to do it. You still have to physically put the bottle in the baby's mouth. Surprised me when I saw it. All right, tobacco cessation products on our plan. You can get 2 courses of those per year for free. Each course is about 3 months long. So your patches, medications, gums, that type of thing. If you're a diabetic, preferred brand insulins are $25 on our plan. You may have read in the paper, or who gets the paper anymore? You may have seen in the news online, right, that one of the big insulin manufacturers has now lowered it to $30. The federal government have a $30 limit. I think the states 30 as well. But we've had it at 25 for many, many years. And the reason we've done that is because we don't want people having an argument, look, do I treat my disease state or do I put food on the table for my family? So that's what we've done. If you take an over-the-counter acid reflux or GERD medication, so GERD stands for gastroesophageal reflux disease, get a prescription for it so we know it's for you and not your next door neighbor, and you can get those for free. So here we're talking Acifex, Protonix, Prevacid, Prilosec, Omeprazole, Nexium, those type of medications. The prescription is very important because it needs to go through the pharmacist counter. You can't take it up to the cash register. It needs to be pushed through, yes.
We did this and they're still charging us $10 each time, which is not bad.
Well, it's still $10 more than you should be paying. So the solution to the answer to your question is call January she can get that sorted out and get you refunded anything you've paid out of pocket, okay? Yeah, so, yeah, this happens quite a lot, and because it means they're not pushing it through correctly. And it may be that the script isn't written right. If you're taking one of those medications, which I know 1 in 3 of you in this room are, don't feel like you need to go to your physician right now and get a new script. Use MD Live, won't cost you a cent to do it. Get a new script called in and get it over the counter at no cost to you. If you're a diabetic and you take an oral generic medication, those will just be $5 on our plan. So think metformin, that type of thing. Also, if you take an antihistamine over the counter, get a prescription for it, and you can get it for a $5 copay. So here we're talking Claritin, Clarinex, Zyrtex, Flonase, Nasonex, those type of things. This benefit here, save you about $360 a year. The previous over-the-counter one, about $420 a year. So again, I know that 1 in 3 of you are also taking one of these medications because Oklahoma is one of the worst states in the country for allergies, right? So if you're not doing that now, please take advantage of it if you can. If you cover a dependent child on our plan and they have an accident, we will pay the first $500 of claims. So let's say they fall out of a tree and break their arm. That's what this benefit will do. No other plan out there is going to have that. Also, if you have a dependent child covered on our plan, we will reimburse you for anything that you spend on that deductible above 50%. So essentially what we're saying here is the dependent child deductible is half that of an active employee, right? Now, we'd love to just set it that way, but Blue Cross's network that we rent can't support that, so we have to do it through a reimbursement. So there you have 30 benefits that this plan offers that you're not going to find anywhere else. I haven't even got to the basic stuff that every plan talks about, right? This is what sets us apart from everywhere. And I think that each of you in here can probably point to one of those and say, yeah, I can make use of that. I'm quite proud of the well-roundedness of this, that I think we're pretty much touching every major condition and being able to help people in different places wherever else. You're not going to find anything else like that. But let's talk about the yes, sorry, do you have a question?
Is there any projection of like hormone replacement, hormone therapy, any type of that stuff in the future?
Yeah, so I was going to wrap this up by talking about the things that are on the line that I'm in the process of going through and talking about. That's one of them. I'm also looking at an organization called Progeny for reproductive improvements and stuff. And I'm looking at opening the class of drugs for weight loss therapies as well. So I'm actively looking at all those 3 areas. So we've made a lot of changes, and I haven't got through all of them yet, for this plan year. Those are the things that are coming, right? So yeah, I know there are little holes still in places, but I'm aware of it. Yeah.
And I have one other, while we're at it. What's the likelihood that there's gonna be a cardiac facility that's gonna be the Blue Distinction Center
100%.
in the state of Oklahoma?
Yeah, there's 3 in Oklahoma City alone.
Oh, really? 'Cause,
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So if you call January, or if you go on our website, there's a link.
So that's what.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir. It shows 0 in the state of Oklahoma. Maybe
Okay.
I'm doing something wrong.
I think you are, because when I looked, there were several.
I would love for you to be wrong.
Yeah. When we're done, I can get online and we'll look that up. But I'm absolutely certain. And also, it's done by procedure type too. So if you need a cabbage, for example,
Yeah, and maybe I put that procedure in there wrong.
okay, yeah, I'm absolutely certain that it's not there.
Yeah,
Okay.
like I said,
Yeah.
love free cooking.
And I know there's at least 2 in Tulsa too. Okay, so let's talk about basic health coverage then. So Diamond Health coverage, if you're not aware, on our plan, we have 5 different plans available. So bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and diamond. Diamond is the best one that we offer. Both groups in here are on the same plan. So all of the stuff I just talked about before, that's available for all our plan designs. So the only time things differ is from this point onwards. So here, $5,000 max out of pocket, $1,000 deductible, 20% co-insurance. Now I know those numbers look big, but some perspective is required here and understanding. So deductible wise, the average deductible in Oklahoma today, $3,750. Not unheard of to have between $5,000 and $15,000 deductibles. So $1,000, not only competitive, you can't find that as an individual plan, and you're going to be hard pressed to find that anywhere else in this state anywhere. $5,000 max out of pocket, again, very low. State average, $12,500 max out of pocket per year. When it comes to office visits, we already talked about all the virtual stuff, but if you do have to go see someone in person, $25 for a primary, pediatric, or urgent care, $50 for a specialist. Out-of-network coverage is available too. Very hard to go out-of-network on this plan. 99% of all the providers in the state are in the Blue Cross network. But if you do, there is coverage here. Of course, the exception is if you go to an ER for an emergency reason, whether it's in or out of network, it will always be treated as an in-network claim. There are a number of benefits that we cover at 100% on our plan. This isn't all of them. These are just the major ones that most people are interested in. I just want to talk about two of these briefly. So we cover digital mammography on our plan, which I'm told, because obviously I've never had it done myself, is completely painless. There's no squashing involved. It's like having an X-ray done. We also cover digital colonoscopies. Unfortunately, this still means you have to drink that crap. No, not drink the crap. You still have to drink that gunk the night before, right? But there's no general anesthetic. There's no need for a tube up the backside, a risk of a punctured colon or sepsis or anything like that. Now, also with colonoscopies, I need to point this out, right? Any other plan out there, if they find something, a polyp, and they biopsy it, you now wake up from this general anesthetic, and it's no longer preventive, it's now a diagnostic benefit, and you have an $800 bill because it's subject to deductible and coinsurance. Now, pardon the intentional pun this time, we think that's asinine, and regardless of what they find, we're always going to cover it at 100%. That's because we don't want you to be gun shy, right, and not go get it done the next time because you fear there's an out-of-pocket cost. So that's just using your brain and being sensible about it. Now, I tell you all of that because there are certain friction points on the plan where sometimes things go wrong, and that is one of them. So if you ever get a bill for a colonoscopy, what do? Good, excellent. Call January and we'll get it taken care of. It happens a lot because these doctors and hospitals miscode the procedure, right? So we need to correct it. All right, let's talk prescription coverage then quickly. So this is through Express Scripts instead of Blue Cross and Blue Shield, because Blue Cross and Blue Shield is not capable of providing the level of plan design that we're looking for here. So all your local pharmacies are in network, all your major chains are as well. Here, there's some more friction points I just want to cover quickly. So there are certain safety control mechanisms we have in place that may slow down you picking up your prescription. And I need to explain why we do these things so that you can understand what's going on behind the scenes. So we have some quantity and age restrictions. An example of an age restriction would be something like the shingles vaccine called Zostafax, right? This is recommended for people age 55 or older who had chickenpox as a kid. So obviously we're not going to provide that to a 30-year-old, right? That makes sense. When it comes to quantity restrictions, there are some drugs that regularly cost us about $100,000 a month, right? Now, with those sort of rare condition, high costing drugs, a lot of times people can't tolerate them. And so, you know, when you get a prescription filled, you can never return it and put it back on the shelf. It's done, right? So we will only fill, say, a 6-day supply initially to see if you can tolerate it, and then fill the rest. So that's not us just being obstructive. That's us being sensible about how we use the plan's money, right? When it comes to clinical prior authorizations, this is another friction point, and probably the one that's had the biggest impact to our membership. This is where, prior to filling a prescription, we have to ask questions of your doctor. you know, why did you prescribe this medication? But sometimes drugs can be indicated for a number of conditions, right? But also, why did you prescribe this? And are you aware that this other doctor they're seeing has prescribed something like this, right? And that if they were to take both of them together, your patient would be dead tomorrow. So do you want to change that prescription, right? We stepped in last year, and I'm not joking about this, 3,900 times on that point alone. And it's at this point I shared the statistic that the biggest killer of people in the United States is not cancer or heart disease, it's medical malpractice, right? And that's why we have to do these type of things behind the scenes to help and support and make sure you guys stay healthy. But it does mean it may take a couple of hours to get your script, or it may be the next day before they can get in contact with your physician to ask those relevant questions. So sometimes it's not just us being difficult, there's a real valid reason why we're doing what we're doing. So let's talk about the coverage then. The $75 deductible, that's per brand name, not per drug, right? Sorry, let me rephrase that. That's per person, not per drug, right? So you just pay one $75 deductible. $2,500 max out of pocket for the year. So after that point, we are paying 100% of the claims. On our plan, the 30-day supply of a generic is $10, $45 for a preferred brand, $60 for a non-preferred. If you would rather get a 90-day supply, you can do that and save yourself half a copay in the process. You can do that through your retail pharmacy or through the mail order service if you want that convenience as well.
Does the $2,500 apply to prescriptions that are covered? So I get some compounded prescriptions that aren't covered.
It depends how that prescription goes through, because some compounding pharmacists run it through the prescription side, some of them run it through the medical side. So it's either having an impact to your medical out of pocket or your pharmacy out of pocket. I'd have to see the claim to make that determination. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. If it helps you get to that 100% level quicker, then that's definitely what you want to do. If you take a specialty drug then, so this is one of those high costing, rare disease type condition type medications, $10 for a generic, $60 for a non-preferred, and $60 for a preferred, and $100 for a non-preferred. Now, this is the part of the plan that keeps me awake at night, because it's quite scary to see what's coming down. Fantastic science. These gene therapy drugs that take your DNA and build the drug around it, fantastic. You know, but when it's $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a month, our cost, we have to worry about that. There's a new drug coming out. I think I've talked about this to the board for hemophilia, right? We have 2 hemophiliacs on the plan. So those are people that their blood doesn't clot, right? And typically this impacts boys. And up until the 1930s, you wouldn't have lived past the age of 7, right? Well, these 2 people each cost us about $350,000 a year before they have any bleeding incident, in which case they're in the ICU for days, if they're still alive. Well, this new drug, 1 injection, $2.5 million. Yeah. The difference is, for the first time in 120 years, second time, these big pharmaceutical companies have actually cured the condition, because this 1 injection cures them of hemophilia, which means their quality of life is vastly improved, right? The other condition, if you're interested, was hepatitis C. That was about 10 years ago now. And the reason why there's only those 2 conditions is they arrived at those by mistake, because these big pharmaceutical companies aren't interested in curing anything. They're only interested in treating the symptoms so they can get repeat business on a monthly basis. But there are some good things coming, is what I'm saying. Enhancements, we already talked about all of these. With the exception of the contraception and stuff, that's under the Affordable Care Act, so I don't really look at it as an enhancement. Everyone, everywhere gets that. All right, any questions on the health piece? Don't worry, everything speeds up from here. Okay? In fact, I'll make a promise, I'll do dental in 60 seconds. How's that? All right, so dental coverage then. We have two plans, enhanced and standard. You have the enhanced plan, which is the better of those two. This is through Blue Cross and Blue Shield, $2,500 max dental paid per year. Twice a year, not subject to deductible or co-insurance. Your cleaning, polishing, bite wing x-rays, prophylaxis treatment covered in full. $25 deductible, 15% co-insurance for basic services, and $40 for major. We're also able to announce today an improvement to the dental plan, which will begin July 1. Implants will now be covered as a major service on the plan. Up until now, they weren't covered. Also, orthodontic coverage is included for dependent children up to the age of 26. So $1,500 lifetime max, no deductible, that's per child. There you go, about 60 seconds, right? Okay, so that was an improvement to dental. Now, a couple of improvements on the vision side. So vision through VSP, which is the largest vision plan provider in the country. $10 professional eye exam every year. New benefit here, digital retinal screening is now a $39 copay. Up until now, when you went to get your vision tested, you may have been offered an upcharge of about $80 to get that done, right? Instead of the dilation. Dilation is still free, right? But $80, that's pretty expensive. So we added this benefit that limits it to $39. You don't have to have that done, but now it's a lot more affordable than it was. Lenses every year, set of lenses for a $25 copay. So that's single vision, lined bifocal, lined trifocal, or the standard progressive no-line lenses. In terms of lens customizations, your polycarbonate or plastic lenses are free for adults as well as kids, as are the photochromic or transitional lenses, you know, the ones that go dark when you go outside, those are covered. All other customizations to your lenses are discounted between 40 and 60%. $120 a year to spend on frames, or if you choose one of the featured on sale frames, $140. If you've just got to have those Gucci frames and you go over that amount, a 20% discount on that overage. Contact lenses instead of glasses, $120 a year to spend on those. We also broke out that fitting and evaluation exam to a separate charge, 15% up to a max of $60, so it doesn't reduce your allowance. Typically, you only have to pay that the first time or after a major change to your prescription. Of course, if you're masochistic, rather have someone shoot a laser into your eye, we can also give you discounts there. Notice this says laser vision correction. It does not say LASIK, because LASIK is one of 5 different types of laser vision. So if you're thinking of having that done, call January, because there's also discounts through Blue Cross and Blue Shield. So we can weigh those up, see where you're going to get the best bang for your dollar there. Last year, we added this benefit, the essential medical eye care benefit. So for a $20 copay, you can get much higher grade of medical scanning and screenings of your eyes done, making it a lot more affordable. There's a lot more details in the materials on exactly what is included under that. Now, the next bit is a new bit. Under our vision plan, we also have coverage for hearing. So with this, 60% discount to digital hearing aids through True Hearing, a free online hearing test, and the ability every year to get 120 hearing aid batteries for just $39. Did everyone hear that?
What'd you say?
Yeah. There's always one, always one. All right, life coverage then. So OMAG pays for $50,000 of life coverage on each of you. So that's guaranteed issue. That means we don't care if you had a heart attack last night. Well, look, we care, right? We're just not going to stop you from getting the life coverage. But it also includes an accidental death benefit, which means if you're killed in an accident, it will pay $100,000 instead of $50,000. And that accident doesn't just have to occur at work, it can be on your own time as well. But it also includes loss of a limb and loss of a use of the limb, as well as loss of hearing or sight. Also included at no additional cost to you, and regardless of whether you cover them for anything else, you have $12,500 coverage on your spouse and $5,000 coverage on each dependent child up to the age of 26. Now, that means they don't have to live with you. They have their own coverage. They're married, are deployed with the military. You hate their guts, any of those things, right? You're going to automatically get that coverage. I'm glad you like that. Also with this coverage, you can get last wills and testaments done for free, living wills, durable powers of attorney. If you need grief counseling, there's some of that available there too, as well as obviously through MD Live. There's also help and support with dealing with some of the financial and legal issues that come after a death, so think probate, that type of thing as well. Anyone in here related to someone who owns a funeral parlor? No, good, then I'll say this, right? You know, those people are the consummate salespeople, right? They will nickel and dime you to death. No, not death. They know how to maximize the profit, right? So they'll be like, do you want those solid gold handles? Do you want that built-in Wi-Fi? You know, that type of thing. Right? Well, you laugh, right? Did you know until the 1900s they didn't understand what comas were? So they'd regularly bury people with a string tied to a bell, pay someone to sit on the surface, and if you woke up, they'd ring the bell and they'd dig you up. And for those cemeteries that couldn't afford that service, when you exhume people and you see scratches on the roof of the coffin, that's what happened. Yeah. So maybe the built-in Wi-Fi isn't such a bad idea. All right. Guys, I have to throw all these jokes in, otherwise this will be dry as hell, right? So also we have additional life coverage, right? So this is coverage that you can buy above and beyond that which the group already pays for, right? So age rated, which I'll show you here in a minute, 20,000 minimum, $5,000 increments up to 5 times your annual pay. You can also take the accidental death component out on this, 15 cents per 5,000 unit. There's also coverage available for your spouse, up to half of whatever you've taken out on yourself, and 2 options on your kids, 10 and 20,000, $2 and $4 here, where 1 premium covers all of them. So if you've got 10 kids, Brian's not here anymore, but if you've got 10 kids, you need all the help you can get, right? Well, you know what I mean, right? The good coverage there. So here are the age rates, with and without the AD&D. So $20,000 coverage if you're, say, a 49-year-old, that's what, $6.20 a month. So quite affordable, right? The average cremation funeral in Oklahoma ranges, actually I saw some in the county I was in last week, there was a special, I nearly said fire sale, but no, there's a special for $2,000, right? Well, that's a crass joke, I apologize. But they can go from 2,000 up to sort of 17. An inhumation or burial is somewhere in the region of 15,000 upwards, you know, for that Wi-Fi and everything else. And then excarnation is illegal, so don't go down that road, right? I made that mistake in one of the, if you don't know what excarnation, that's the Native American way of putting you on a wooden platform to be pecked at by birds. So don't go that route. Unless you want time in the jails, and I've been to the jails, you don't want to go there. Not personally. I mean, I've done meetings in the jails. Right. I'll tell you a couple of stories, right? One time, I was at a county, I did a presentation at midnight in a county jail, literally in a glass room with the inmates walking around the outside on a Friday night. It was very interesting. And then another time, I told all of the sheriff's department to come, and they all came, and 2 guys escaped the jail. And I was thinking, you bloody idiots. I mean, anyway, that's life in Oklahoma for you. All right, retiree coverage then. So I was told that some of you are interested in this. So we have a big announcement to make here as well. So first of all, OPEH is not relevant to you guys, but some of our groups, they receive a stipend through their retirement system that reduces the premium. But under 65, everything is identical to that of an active employee, so same benefits and rates. Over 65, we have this brand new plan which combines medical and RX. It's not age rated, not gender rated, not tobacco rated, $142.70, no out-of-pocket costs on medical. So no deductible, co-insurance or copay. And that rate stays the same as you get older. Phenomenal plan. So we're really excited about that. That includes an industry-leading formulary on the prescription drug side, no donut hole on the drug side, unlike a lot of people having to do. No need to reassess their needs every year during open enrollment. So very, very simple. This new plan starts May 1st. So we're actively rolling all 800 of our retirees right now into this program. We have one member of staff, that's all they deal with is retiree coverage. So yeah, we, like OMRF, take it quite seriously. All our retirees can choose from one of 4 different life volumes with or without spouse coverage. Okay, I'm nearly done. In classic Steve Jobs thing, I always like to leave everyone on a laugh. Now, last time I showed you that picture of Winston Churchill, do you remember it? Right, well, I changed it up now. So here we go. 30 facts that you may have not heard of. So anyone want to pick a number and I'll share some English wisdom with you?
Number 2.
Number 2. Oh, the letter J was the last letter to be added to the English alphabet. And it's also the only letter that doesn't appear on the periodic table.
Number 8.
8?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, there are more Lego minifigures in the world than humans.
And there should be.
16. Ha is the only universal word in every language on the planet, and it means exactly the same thing.
How about Mr. Potato Head, 19?
First toy to be advertised on US television. Number 3. Oh, more people are killed taking selfies than through sharks. I actually found a shark selfie to represent that, which I thought was good. You also have a 1 in 10 chance of being bitten by a human than being bitten by a shark.
29, 14.
29. Oh, let's do 29 and then 14. So 29, it's been proven that holding hands with a loved one releases oxytocin in the brain and gives you a euphoric feeling, can help you get over depression and anxiety. 14. Okay. If you're murdered in the US, there's a 1 in 3 chance that person will never be caught.
Oh, that's a
And according to the FBI, in the last 6 years, there have been an estimated 2,000 active serial killers in the US.
How many?
2,000.
Wow.
Oh, and they upgraded what constitutes being a serial killer from 3 to 5.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Is there a nicer one than that?
Oh, yeah.
About 17. What's the grass about?
Oh, the grass, right? Everyone like the smell of freshly cut grass? Right? It's actually a distress signal that grass sends out to warn other plants in the area that it's under attack. 26? Oh, it's been proven that playing video games is better than some types of mental health therapy.
My kids would say that.
I was
Sure.
gonna say, wow.
I'll agree with it.
Yeah.
What about 10?
10. Oh, it's impossible to hold your nose and hum at the same time.
And what? And thumb?
Netflix. Under federal law, it's illegal to share your Netflix password with someone.
18.
18? Honey. Oh, okay, so the Egyptian pharaohs used to slather some of their slaves in honey to attract the flies, which would also kill the flies, but also kill the slave in the process. Mm-hmm.
You're just a bundle of joy, aren't you?
Towards helping.
Huh? 27. All right. Wearing headphones for 1 hour will increase the bacteria in your ear canal by 700%.
What about the ones you put in your ear, same thing?
Yeah. So
We've got ones that now.
25. Oh, German chocolate cake? Named after a man named Mr. German, not the country. Which is why I will eat it now.
About 30.
30. Ah. Your eyes don't grow after you've been born, staying the same size. But your ears and nose continue to grow for the rest of your life. 9? Oh, hang on. Let me think about that one. The yawning one. Oh, yeah. Yawning is directly correlational to the size of the brain. So any animal with a small brain will have a small yawn. The bigger the brain, the bigger the yawn. 20. Bananas. If you eat a banana, you're more likely to get bitten by a mosquito.
Nuh-uh. I'm not buying that.
Well, we can test it.
I guess you're a
But then that's where the garlic comes in, right?
That's an onion.
Oh, it is an onion.
Yeah.
What is the onion? 22.
What is the onion? That's the one I added last night to replace something I found out was untrue, and now I can't remember. Give me a second, I'll come back to the onion one. Oh, no, I've got it. Onions. Everyone cry when they cut onions, right? Put them in the freezer for 15 minutes beforehand. It shuts the enzyme off that causes the crying, but doesn't freeze the onion. 15 minutes, that's all it needs. Just chill it down.
That's a good one. Good tip.
10?
Good tip.
I did 10 already.
Good tip.
Oh, good tip. Good tip. Okay.
7?
7. Kangaroos, the only large animal that will continue to grow throughout its life. Never stops growing. 13. Oh, this is good. Pope Pius II. You know what pious means, right? Prior to becoming Pope in the 15th century, he wrote a novel called The Tale of Two Lovers, which was the most erotic fictional novel ever written at the time. Pope Pius, there we go. 1. This is a good one. Every single president of this country has had a brother or sister. None of them have been single children. So next presidential election, look to find out which of them are and place a bet on the other one. That's what I was thinking.
What about 12?
12. I wasn't expecting to go through all of these, but all right. That's good. 12. School lunches only exist in the United States because the federal government wanted to ensure a good draft pool if they ever needed to redraft people for a war.
I'm not gonna do it on school lunch.
We've covered most of them, but 11, we didn't do 11 yet, right? 11, 4, 6, 15.
Netflix.
We did the Netflix. Yeah. Okay. Do 11? Oh, Hollywood. Hollywood is only in California because of Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison owned 1,000 different patents on technologies that movie makers were using, and they were getting sued all the time. So they moved it to California so they wouldn't get sued so much. 4. Chocolate. There is a chemical in chocolate that fights tooth decay. Unfortunately, all the sugar sort of overrides them. 6. Eating cucumbers will cure bad breath. What have we got left? We might as well do all of them now. What have we got left?
17.
So we did 17 about the grass. 15. Oh, this is a good one. During the Second World War, you've seen those balloons in the news recently, right? From China. So during the Second World War, the Japanese launched a bomb balloon that landed in one of the US states, killed a mother and her kids, 5 in total. That's the only US sure deaths during the Second World War because Hawaii wasn't a state at that point. Although you could argue if it's a naval base, technically it's US soil, but you get the point. 21. The average human can remember 50,000 cents. 23. Each of you will eat about 35,000 cookies in your lifetime.
And zero. Then I guess 28. Red.
Oh, the color red has this impact of making you want to eat more, which is why it's in restaurants a lot. Will also make you concentrate more, which is why you'll find it a lot in classrooms and those type of things.
24.
24, that's the apple and banana. Let me think. This is going to be the only one I can't remember now, isn't it? Huh? Yeah, it's here. I've got it. But
The worm in the apple eats the mosquito after you eat the banana.
oh, so yeah, smelling apples and bananas can help you lose weight.
Smelling them.
Mm-hmm. All right, I think that's everything I've got for you guys.